Welcome to the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show with head coach Jeff Shore, brought to you by the wonderful people at Central Ozarks Medical Center, Polylift Boat Lift, and Hy-Vee Osage Beach. Welcome to the Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show. Head coach Jeff Shore with us, as he is every week, and we thank him for his time. We know how busy he is, and starting to feel a little more like football weather this week, a little bit cooler, Coach.
Feels great. I love it. I love fall weather. It's my favorite time of year, and so, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now, would you rather play games in the heat of the early part of the season, in the cold of the late season, or what do you like best?
I like everybody, probably about that mid-60s.
Kind of like this, yeah.
But I think I prefer, I look colder than I would hotter. I mean, if you had it on one extreme or the other, I think I like cold better. It's easier, from a playing perspective, you heat up a little quicker in the cold. The heat's hard to escape when it's 90, 100 degrees out. Even
with the fast-paced passing game that you guys play, that still works.
Yeah, I like it. The other thing is, you don't have to worry about a grass field anymore and mud, really. I mean, every game we play is on turf. So most of these kids have never even seen a grass field.
Yeah.
So it helps with the passing game, too. You don't have to worry so much about a muddy ball.
I'm so old. I remember going down, you could actually smell the grass and the dirt on the field. That was part of the greatness of it,
Well, if you could have said, 20 years ago that you'd play every game on a turf field, that was almost like saying you will play every game in a dome stadium at high school level, which may happen someday. But, that would be as far-fetched as it would saying you play every game on a turf field.
Absolutely. So a rare regular season home loss last week. Another really tough team in that Bolivar team. And they went far in the playoffs last year. They got another tough team this year. But it seemed like you guys, as the game went on, you got more and more confidence as the game went on.
Yeah, it was an odd game, very bittersweet, I would say. We started out really good, actually, 7-0, and then they ran a fake punt that I think kind of turned the tide and got them the momentum back. And down 18-7 at half, had a horrific start of the third quarter. They scored 2 touchdowns right off the bat, and it looked like we were dead in the water. And to our kids' credit, we really turned it on and cut it to a one-score game with plenty of time left. Got the ball back, just couldn't get it in the end zone again. But bittersweet, because I felt like we really stayed with it, and there's some real positives. So. But also tough to take a home loss.
Yeah. Oh man, that's for sure. It's when you're dealing with the high school kids like this, so much of it probably has to do with confidence. And I think you had mentioned a couple weeks ago here on the show, these kids have won a lot of games, as they've come up through the ranks over the years, and a little bit of this has to be a shock to them.
It does, and you don't want them to take it well. You don't want them to get used to that. But at the same time, you have to deal with it. It's just part of the learning process, and so you see it all over. You see, NFL teams, you see teams like Alabama that are constantly winning, and then all of a sudden they get beat a few times, and so we just have to keep working hard and keep their spirits up. Like I say every week, no matter what, you've always got a set of things you got to work on, win or lose. So. It's just a little easier to work on them when you win because everybody's a little more excited.
This is the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show with head coach Jeff Shore. Go ahead, I cut you off there.
No, we're good. I just wanted to say that, we just got to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, we mentioned it last week, the beauty of Missouri high school football is everybody goes to the playoffs. So if you figure it out, if these kids who have won their whole lives up to this point, something clicks, they start figuring it out, they go into the playoffs, and all of a sudden, nobody wants to play you.
Well, I feel like, with our unique style of offense, and you saw a little bit of the ugly side of our offense the first half. There's an ugly side to it, and there's also a really pretty side to it. And you saw the prettier side, the towards the middle, third quarter, and fourth. So, and there's also an ugly side to running the ball all the time. That if you can't move the ball at all on the ground, then so there's an ugly side to both. So. Like you said, I'm hoping we can keep going, keep fine-tuning and catch fire, and be hard to stop and hard to deal with before it's all over.
Conference standings, at the top you've got West Plains. You've already played them. Bolivar. So West Plains 5-0, Bolivar 4-1. You played both of them. They're out of the way. Kickapoo 3-1.
Yep.
Then you got Lebanon coming on strong now, 3-2, and you got them in a couple weeks.
Correct.
I think, and Rolla's not playing too bad these days either.
Yeah, and the first half of our schedule was definitely front loaded.
Yeah.
And you can
on
see
the
that.
road.
Yeah, and on the road. So with the young team. So
Yeah.
we've talked about that before, but not an excuse. But you just got to understand that coming in, as a coaching, from the coaching perspective, you got to understand that there's going to be some learning curves. There's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way, and we hope to just keep getting those corrected. I saw a lot of things on film that I really liked, and I saw a lot of things on film from the Bolivar game that I felt like we could. That was there for the taking for us, and we just didn't execute them the way we need to.
All right. So coming up this week, possibly a much easier task, although there are no easy games, as we've learned over the years. So we will talk about this week's game and homecoming when we come back on the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show. What is COMC? A health center where everyone has access to high-quality, affordable medical, dental, and behavioral health care, regardless of insurance or ability to pay. Offering primary care, preventative, chronic, pediatrics, and OBGYN. COMC even offers comprehensive dental and same-day emergency care. A health center that focuses on every aspect of your health. Everything your family needs to stay healthy. At COMC, your health is our mission.
Polylift Boat Lifts. Boaters everywhere have relied on Polylift Boat Lifts to raise their boat up and out of the water time and time again. Polylift Boat Lifts are made of the finest materials and offer a lifetime warranty on the tanks. Stop by Polylift and see the huge selection of wet steps, water toys, and dock accessories. You can even shop online at polylift.com. Polylift Boat Lifts. You know what they say.
We got time to build boat lifts. We build Polylifts.
Your time on the water is limited, and Hy-Vee and Osage Beach knows it. Let us do the shopping so you can maximize your lake time. With our Isles online app, you can have your groceries delivered or ready for contactless pickup when you arrive to the lake. With all your grilling favorites, snacks, fresh produce, and home to the lake's largest wine, spirits, and beer department, your weekend at the lake starts with Hy-Vee and Osage Beach, where you'll find a helpful smile in every aisle. Welcome back to the Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show, brought to you by COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center. Head coach Jeff Shore. Man, I was rude in that first segment. I kept cutting you off. He's going to throw me out of here.
No, not at all.
Okay. He's one of the nicest guys in coaching. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Okay, so last week it was a tough game against Bolivar, although looked like you really started learning some things toward the end of the game. But it was homecoming, and that's always special.
It is, a little different this year than normal. We've had normally we have a parade that is really one of the most the neatest things you'll see in a school district that I've ever seen, and that's all our school, the elementaries, everybody K through 12 lines the whole campus.
Yeah.
And then the different sports teams, football teams, whatever teams are playing, volleyball, all those kind of teams, get a float or parade, and they ride through the campus and high five all the elementary kids and the middle school kids. And it's a great thing for school spirit, one of the best things we do here. And it just promotes that you want to be a Laker, and whatever sport it is, whether it be football or anything else, girls sports, boys sports, fall, spring, winter. It promotes just that unity of being a Laker. So it's disappointing we didn't get to do that this year. Just because it is such a good thing for school spirit, and obviously the reason was, the COVID exposure, which everyone understands that. But those are a few things we missed, honestly, at homecoming this year. I thought the people organizing it did a great job of doing the most we could with what we were allowed to do. So kudos to them on organizing it all and getting everything put together and still being able to have a homecoming.
Yeah, the Lakers have done such a great job of building that Laker pride on all the different levels, and I think the homecoming, like you talked about, is a part of that. So this week's game against a team that has struggled this year, and maybe actually a game that you guys can maybe take a breath and tune some things up.
Well, I'm going to give you a Bob Shore statement, which is they are the best 0-5 team in the state of Missouri. I promise you, because and that's truth. I'm not sure how many times he said that was really the fact. But when I'm saying it, it's for real. And I'll tell you the obvious example is you look at, they went down to West Plains and got beat 26-27 by 1 point, and should have scored on the, I think they'd ball on the 3-yard line to go ahead and win that game. And so, I've seen that game on film, obviously scouting West Plains. They were playing them at the time. They look like a fantastic football team. West Plains beat Kickapoo, I think 28-0 last week. Kickapoo is one of the better Class 6 teams around. So that tells you right there, they're a very capable team. So I think they've lost 3 out of their 5 games in the last minute of the ball game. They're a very good, very talented team, physically talented team. If you see them on film, they have some real players. So it is not at all one of those weeks, you would look at the record and say 0-5, but it's not at all like that.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That makes it even harder. Playing a team that has that kind of a record, everybody just expects you to win, but might not be that easy. Hopefully, you guys will be able to take a breath after all these incredibly hard games that you've had to play lately. So we talked about the conference, and this conference, Ozark Conference this year, is just a juggernaut, especially with West Plains and Bolivar up there. But we were talking about the district last week. The district has come out. How does that look? That might actually be an easier row than what the conference has been.
Yeah, I can't complain about our district. Not to say that our district is easy at all, but for all the districts that you look at, you can't really complain. I like playing different teams. We got Capital City, Jefferson City, Washington, Rolla, Battle, and ourselves. Battle probably being the pick at the moment. Being the best team, what it looks like from scores and stuff. So, but I can't complain about that road. I like for us to play different teams. I think it's better for us to see some people we haven't seen before, and. So, like I said, I'm not going to complain about that, and I like being on the east side of the state. That's not a bad thing. So, it's sitting there for us. We've just got to get a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. And that all the other teams out there, it doesn't matter if it's West Plains, Bolivar, or whoever, they do not want to play Camdenton somewhere down the road in the playoffs. So, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, we have a good reputation, as far as that goes. So, hopefully we can use that to our advantage. Really it gets done on the field. But, if we can take advantage, I think a couple of games this year, if we would have gone ahead and scored, early, or, even in this ball game the other night, if we could have, avoided the fake punt, gone up maybe 14-0, I think that helps you in your reputation. But we're going to have to do that for it to really work.
This is the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show, head coach Jeff Shore. So I've worked with a lot of coaches over the years on every level, high school, college, pro. I have never met one of them that wasn't superstitious, right? So are you superstitious? If you're winning, do you keep doing certain things? Do you have the same thing for breakfast? If you're losing, do you change things? How does that work?
Yeah, unfortunately I am, and that's why we're sitting in a little different spot today at a little different time. I got a bunch of different things, Bugsy, our stats guy, he always has to bring me a Sprite before the game, and we switched to Dr. Pepper. Now we're back to Sprite. I started back when my dad was coaching. I remember being 10 years old and we're driving to a playoff game on the back roads of Camdenton, and he just comes to a dead stop. And we turn around and go completely the other way, and a black cat across the road in front. So he said, I'm not taking chances today. So, I try not to be, but unfortunately I am. I like frozen Cokes. Frozen Cokes seem to be good luck for me, so I'll have to get one at Casey's. There's a lot of different things. Probably too many to name on here. People get bored with it. Certain things, towel on my side, on the left side. So it gets a little exhausting sometimes, and I don't really want to be that way, but unfortunately I am.
Hey, I think that just comes with it. Because like I say, I've never met a coach that wasn't like that. So
it comes with the territory, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, good luck Friday night, and we look forward to sitting down with you again next week. And it's a big, huge game. Not that this week isn't big, but you got Lebanon, a week from Friday.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. So, like I said, we're looking. We need to try to get this one this Friday. We'll worry about Lebanon later, but that's always a great game. That's always a great game. I love playing in big games. Our kids love them, so that's never a bad thing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks for being
as
here.
always. This is the COMC Camdenton Lakers Coaches Show with the big guy, Jeff Shore, brought to you by the incredible folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, Hy-Vee in Osage Beach, and Polylift Boat Lifts.